You talked yesterday a bit about not wanting poor offensive nights to lead to, bad defensive showings. That's something Tobias talked about being a trend last year on the road.
Hmm.
I'm wondering first what you make of that and how you can address that. And then secondly, just overall, what you think contributed to the Sixers having such a vast home road disparity last year.
Yeah, the home road disparity was, I don't know what contributed to it. I have my thoughts that I will not share, but I do have my thoughts. Um, you know, but we can that can't happen, obviously, especially when you look at their overall record and you do a deep dive in their one losses. They're phenomenal at home, almost unbeatable at home. They were very beatable on the road, and then they lost to a lot of sub 500 teams as well. And so that's something that we're going to try to improve. We have to improve if we want to be a better team. As far as you just can't live on your offense, and that's every team. That's just not our team, but teams that don't do well. Your offense will let you down. Sometimes in the moment you need it, it will. Meaning guys may have great shots the entire night and the ball just doesn't go in. That's being human. That happens. But you can still win the game. And if we can get that type of confidence that we're going to win whether we make shots or not, it would make us a heck of a force.
Just to follow up on that, how much do you think having fans perhaps providing some level of energy or accountability factors into that? And then what's the difference this year? Potentially not
It's
having
a,
a lot of fans in the
it's
stands,
a
but
great
a lot of great
question.
games.
I would say this. I know the Philly fans help. There's certain fan bases that literally bring energy to a building. We all know, Madison Square Garden, Boston, and Philly are, off my top of my head. That's three right away. When you walk in the building, there's a different electricity. There's energy. And the home teams feed off of that. When I was in Boston, we were almost unbeatable at home. We were the same team when we went on the road. We just didn't have the fans come with us. And on the road, the fans are against you, and we got to use that as energy. I felt you should feel good that you're selling out road arenas. They're cheering against you because they look at you as somebody that they all want to beat, and you got to embrace that. Like that should be part of your energy, and we have to turn that into that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kyle Newbeck is next. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey Doc, so historically turnovers from the post have been a problem for Joel. I know he cleaned it up a little bit last year, but I think he's still averaging about 3 a game.
Yeah.
I guess philosophically, do you think it's better for him to have more static reads, so like stationary guys on the perimeter, or would you rather have lots of cutting and make it, I guess, harder for teams to get like set and
Well,
run
I
well?
think it depends on who you have on the floor. What we designate are cutters, we designate shooters. You typically don't want your shooters moving. You want them to go help. Go help, I dare you. This is Seth Curry. This is Furkan. This is Shake. This is Tobias. Be my guest. And what we're trying to convince our guys of, it doesn't matter who scores when you go to the post. It matters that we score. And we have to have that mentality. If you don't trap Joel's going to score on you. And we've talked about that every day so far. If you do trap Joel, we're going to score on you. And we're going to give you every night. You pick it, but we're scoring either way. That's got to be our mindset. We clearly have to take the ball, take care of the ball, and I think part of that is the spacing that we can create for him and the passing lanes that we have to create for him so we can simplify it for him.
So do you think just by having more shooting on the floor this year versus, I know you weren't here last year
Yeah.
to study the tape
Yeah.
and what have you, but just by having more shooting on the roster, you think that'll clean up at least?
No, I
some?
think that'll clean up some of it, but I think also the right spacing at the right time. We have this saying here: when I move, you move. It's all about post spacing. You got to be in the right spot. When the defense moves, you move to a different spot. What we try to teach, and what I try to teach post players, is where they're going to be. So now the passing is easier. When you're guessing and guys are moving around, you don't know where, it's difficult. There's different hands in there, but when you know where everyone's going to be, it makes it pretty simple.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
We have time for 2 more. We'll start with Paul Hudrick. You're up, Paul.
Hey Doc, we talked a lot about you kind of having a smaller gym just because of everything going on between COVID protocols and the trade not being quite completed yet. What was it like to kind of have a more full gym, and then what did you see first day out of Danny Green and then also Tyrese Maxey?
Well, on Danny Green, I was shocked because I'm guessing he probably hasn't touched the ball since the championship game. I don't know that, I didn't even ask. But he was unbelievable today. He shot the heck out of the ball. He made reads. He did find out that Ben's a super athlete on one of the layups. I will say that. But he was terrific. And Maxey didn't participate today.
Thank you.
We'll go to Kai Carlin. Go ahead, Kai.
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
What's going on?
You said earlier in the week that, when you were assessing Tobias Harris last year, you said he dribbled too much. He wasn't making any quick decisions or anything like that. So far through these first couple of group practices, have you noticed that he's kind of getting back to making those quicker decisions? Have you noticed a little change?
Yeah, especially today. I thought he had a kind of a breakthrough a little bit today. Got to the basket several times, got his shot, looked way more comfortable. It's a process for him to get back to just that quick decision basketball. I just think Tobias going downhill is really hard to guard. And the more he does that, the more easy shots he'll end up having as well. So he's getting it, day at a time.
Thank you.
We actually still have a couple more minutes, so let's go to Pat Gallen and then Tom West. First up with Pat.
Hey, Doc. With COVID kind of looming over everything, is there a need to get guys that are a little lower in the rotation, maybe some more reps early to keep them ready? And how much does COVID play a part in your thinking and your coaching early on here?
It doesn't, and that may be a mistake or may not be. No one knows, I swear, because this is a new team, right? And it's a new staff as well. We got to really focus in more the other way, more on our top guys learning what we're doing. Knowing that obviously we're trying to work everybody in because let's be honest, the chances of nothing happening is not very high. We don't know what's going to happen. That's the problem. We're living in scary times. When you think about the 4 biggest death totals in United States history, or the 8 biggest death totals in United States history, 4 has been in the last week. That's some scary stuff. When you think about it. And so, for everybody, I will say this, masks are important. It's been proven to be important. And that's not a political statement. That's a life and death statement.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you. Didn't mean to go on a political or whatever, but it was needed.
I wasn't trying to point you in that direction.
I know, but it was the right thing to say in general, so thanks.
Final question today for Coach Tom West. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Doc. You talked about the team running the role now, and obviously Ben's going to be quite a big part of that. I was just curious if you tried using Ben as the role man, sort of in practice so far, and kind of using some of his short role passing as well as him being the ball handler.
Yeah, we have. Everyone is in a pick and roll. The one thing you'll see, there's a lot of them with Joel setting the pick. There's a lot with Ben setting the pick. There's a lot with Seth setting the pick. There's a lot with Furkan setting picks. Every single player will be involved in the pick and roll with the ball and as a picker. And that's what we're working on.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.